Your roadmap to the latest in auto? Welcome to Highway Herald. The transition to electric cars isn't happening as smoothly or quickly as hoped. Today, it's clearer than ever that the EV industry faces significant challenges. Customers aren't interested in new EVs, automakers are losing money, and governments are merely postponing electrification plans. Here are 7 major reasons why the EV market is struggling, and why this could be the beginning of the end. Reason number 7. EV sales shift gears. While new EV sales decelerate, pre-owned models are gaining traction. A perfect storm of tax incentives, price reductions, and an influx of affordable Teslas has turbocharged the used EV market. Sites like cars.com report a 45% spike in used EV searches year over year. Meanwhile, Carvana's sales have more than doubled. The introduction of a $4,000 federal tax credit for used EVs acts as a turbo boost for buyers, allowing instant discounts at dealerships. However, not all dealers are joining this race due to paperwork hurdles and buyer eligibility criteria. Despite rising demand for pre-owned electric rides, prices are dropping. A 42% surge in availability and a 20% price drop on cars.com signal a buyer's market. Tesla's price cuts on its Model 3 and Model Y have set a new pace for used EV pricing, proving that when new prices fall, the pre-owned market follows suit. Reason number 6. The energy source conundrum. The green image of electric vehicles is fading as people recognize they may not be the planet savers they were touted to be. The illusion of zero emissions crumbles when considering the carbon-intensive production of EVs, especially their batteries. Mining lithium, a chemical element of the alkali metal group, wreaks environmental havoc. An EV must cover a vast distance before its carbon footprint is less than that of an ICE car, and that's only if it's charged with renewable energy. Sadly, this is often not the reality. Many nations, including the US, still lean on fossil fuels for electricity, with coal being a major source. China's situation is particularly stark. Despite its advanced EV infrastructure, 3/4 of its electricity comes from fossil fuels, with coal plants contributing 55%. This starkly illustrates that EVs in China are not reducing global emissions as hoped. Reason number 5. The stalled growth of EVs. The EV market's acceleration seemed unstoppable, with governments worldwide fueling the charge with ambitious strategies. However, the rubber meets the road with a stark realization. Growth projections were off track. The once turbocharged year-over-year growth rates have downshifted dramatically. We're no longer seeing the impressive surges above 90%. Instead, the market has hit a plateau, and some regions are even backpedaling. China's EV market, once a powerhouse of production and infrastructure, is now grappling with an oversupply and underdemand. Even Tesla has seen a dip in its output. Across the pond, the US is reevaluating its electric dreams, with a noticeable drop in EV sales and market share. The UK is taking a firm stance with its zero-emission vehicle mandate, setting a high bar for automakers to electrify their sales or face steep fines. This mandate is just gearing up, with targets set to soar to 80% by 2030. Before we delve deeper, we'd appreciate it if you could subscribe to Highway Herald. Your support fuels our passion to create more content like this. Now let's explore reason number 4, the roadblock of market saturation. It's no secret that China is home to the world's largest EV manufacturer and boasts the most advanced EV infrastructure. With over 90 registered EV makers, China's market is immense, supporting around 9 million EVs annually. This is impressive compared to other global markets. However, this figure represents only half of the production capacity of Chinese EV companies. To avoid going out of business amidst an ongoing price war, these companies desperately need to expand into new markets. China is keen to penetrate Western markets, but this expansion isn't proceeding as planned. Western countries are protective of their automotive industries and are implementing legal measures to prevent a flood of Chinese EVs. For instance, the Biden administration has introduced a 100% tax on Chinese EVs. In Europe, the situation is more complex due to the interdependent relationship between the European and Chinese automotive industries. A significant portion of European car sales relies on the Chinese market. For example, 1/3 of all BMWs and a substantial number of Volkswagens are sold in China. Consequently, the European Union must navigate a delicate balance, using various legal strategies to avoid potential retaliation from China while protecting its own market. Reason number 3, the profitability pitfall. The electric vehicle market is facing a critical bottleneck: profitability. Aside from Tesla, It's a challenge to find an automaker that's turning a profit on EVs with a sustainable model. Legacy car manufacturers are particularly struggling, having failed to navigate the EV economy successfully. Consider Ford's revelation. In 2023, they reported a loss of $36,000 on each F-150 Lightning sold. As the rush to electrification slows and government safeguards kick in, these traditional automakers can finally catch their breath. Many are now retreating from their electric ambitions. Ford and GM are shifting gears, delaying EV investments in favor of hybrids and ICE vehicles to recoup losses. Across the Atlantic, European manufacturers like Fiat are pushing back ICE phase-outs for their flagship models past 2030. Even luxury brands aren't immune to these electric headwinds. Aston Martin has pushed back its first EV debut to 2027, and Bentley is also postponing its all-electric transition. Reason number 2, the consumer conundrum. Given high prices, limited range, and other constraints, it's no surprise that most drivers aren't planning to buy an EV soon. This reluctance is likely why many governments are implementing new regulations to boost sales. However, these measures may be ineffective if the market doesn't evolve naturally. The issue lies in how potential customers perceive EVs. A survey in the UK revealed that only 8% of respondents are likely to buy an electric car as their main vehicle in the next 5 years. Meanwhile, 20% are considering an EV as a secondary vehicle, highlighting a significant trend. It's rare for households to use an EV as their primary vehicle. Typically, it's a second or even third car. This niche market mainly consists of affluent, environmentally conscious households. However, most of these early adopters have already purchased their EVs, leaving the market with fewer potential buyers. In essence, the early adopter phase is over, and EVs haven't yet progressed enough to become a natural choice for the middle class. They still fail to meet the average buyer's needs in terms of autonomy, affordability, and convenience. Additionally, they are no longer cheap to operate, contributing to the stagnation in the EV market. Reason number 1, the electric expense. The switch to electric vehicles has been heralded for its potential benefits, particularly in running costs. The narrative has been clear. Fossil fuels are not only harmful to the environment, but also heavy on the pocket. Electricity was supposed to make transportation significantly cheaper. However, the reality presents a different picture. For many, operating an EV is costlier than an ICE vehicle. High purchase prices aside, many EV owners are bound to public charging stations where electricity rates are soaring. Take the UK, for example, where fast charger electricity costs have surged by 10% in just a year, pushing EV running costs to 22 pence per mile, compared to 17 pence for ICE cars. This is in spite of hefty fuel taxes. Petrol prices are half tax, whereas electricity attracts a 20% tax at fast chargers and only 5% at home. Should EVs dominate, expect higher taxes to compensate for lost fuel duty revenues, which currently stand at £25 billion. This financial conundrum isn't unique to the UK, it's a global challenge. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to Highway Herald and ring the bell for the latest vehicle insights and electrifying updates. See you on the next ride.